Hello guys, and today I'm going to show you the bizarre situation where in the end I couldn't lose, but it doesn't look like that. But what does the sentence "I cannot lose" actually mean? And if you cannot lose, is it really something to celebrate? Or is it something that you say with regret? Sorry guys, don't worry. Okay, now, usually if somebody says they cannot lose, it implies they're going to win. And in chess that would imply checkmate or resignation. Or in very rare cases, disqualification. But that's another matter. But that's not the only way that you cannot lose in chess. I'm going to show you a way where near the end, by making a particular move, you cannot lose. But it may not be quite what you thought it was. So let's look at the game itself. But we're most interested in the end position. Moving a knight out. At some point, probably the queen intends to go there, and maybe some sort of attack there. I don't know what the idea was, but we'll see. No real reason for that. I'm just trying to play unique, and just as I thought, they're trying to somehow aim for checkmate there somehow, if I move my knight out of the way. I see here a possible forking check, which would allow you to get the rook. They've moved their knight out to block it. Not quite sure why I'm doing this, but I want to open up the file, I believe. I said I was playing rather uniquely here. I don't even know. Oh yes, because now I'm threatening the queen. So now by taking that pawn, I'm threatening the queen, and the queen can't take because of the knight. I mean, it could, but you know, it's a legal move. But they'll lose the queen if they do. Now instead, I've done a forking check. I'm not even sure why I did this. I think I must have been very late at night and very tired, because I can see that if I do that, the queen can simply, it could be a case of take, 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 but we'll see what happens. Bishop takes bishop. And this may not have been quite what I was expecting, because I was expecting it to take the bishop, but never mind. This is basically offering a queen exchange. And we now have a queen exchange. As you can see, at the moment, I don't know why I didn't just take the rook, but never mind. I'm trying to trap it in some way here, so that now I take. And they've lost their knight. I've lost a bishop. For those of you, as an example of a forking check, where essentially I'm threatening the king. The king cannot take it because of his bishop, and then after the king is moved, I can then take the bishop. I can see their aim here is to do something like this to force me to move the king, so then they can perhaps they've done what I thought they would do. Move the king, so they want a rook exchange. Not quite sure why, because I have more pieces, but never mind. That was a genuine blunder, which I didn't spot. Now they're trying to make a queen, so they're going to try and probably move. So now they're going to try and take one of my pawns, where this pawn is lost, because if I do nothing, it will get taken. If I move it up, it will get taken. So they've decided to do it this way. This is getting very dangerous because it's a potential queen, so this forces the king to move. And I take the pawn because it's just too dangerous not to, knowing I'm going to now lose. So now I'm going to try and take the pawn. This was the thinking, not necessarily the best idea, but I was going to take this pawn so that they couldn't actually so that they couldn't move it all the way down. But what I didn't realise at the time was, to the best of my knowledge, Now I can't lose. Really. And I'll show you why in a moment. They do something looks absolutely brilliant. A 4-king check. They are threatening both my king and the pawn. I cannot protect this pawn, so I'm going to lose it. And this black pawn is a threat, so I take it. And as I said, at this point, I could not possibly lose. And you think, what are you talking about? Now, if you're a chess expert, you will immediately see straight away what I mean by it is impossible for me to lose now as white. And if but you need to be a chess master or somebody really proficient in chess to realise why. You think, what's the most obvious move that black is going to do now? Well, obviously, because it was a 4-king check, black will take the white piece. And you might think, well, after they've took the white piece, you know, they might be able to get a checkmate. So what am I talking about? Not true. Let's see what happens when black actually takes the piece. Yes, it is immediately a draw. And it is a draw because there is insufficient material on the board to be able to get a checkmate. 2 kings and a knight equal a draw, because it is impossible to checkmate a king with just a king and a knight, and for that reason it is a draw. So, given my opponent here was fairly low rated, they might have been really proud of the fact that they could take that pawn. In fairness, it was the best move they could probably have done, because otherwise I could have then got a queen and potentially checkmated them. So for example, if they'd done something like this, I'm just showing you bad moves on purpose, I could move that out of the way, they could have then done that, I could have then done this, they could have done that, and by now I've got a queen, and they're stuck. And then with a king and a queen, I could have got checkmate somehow. So here, for example, if their knight is trapped because the king the knight can't move. If it moves there, I can take it. If it moves there, I could take it. If it moves there, I could take it. If it moves there, I could take it. So at the moment the knight is trapped, and I could probably find some creative way of getting checkmate. One way for. But anyway, so be careful. Just because you think you've taken a piece, it doesn't mean you're going to win. It could mean that it ends in a draw. And amazingly, that's what I was actually expecting. I spotted when the forking check existed. I actually knew that if they ended up with just a knight and a king, it would be a draw. But I thought my opponent wouldn't even know that. I never found out if they really knew because they didn't write to me or anything like that. I just played a game with someone else afterwards, I believe, or maybe this is the last game. I really can't remember. But I know I didn't play them again and they didn't leave another message. So there you go, guys. If the game ends with just a knight and two kings, it is a draw. Possibly not what you would expect. So when I said to you that once I'd taken the pawn, I couldn't lose, it was true. Because either I could get a draw, it could be a draw by stalemate in the future if I managed to promote it to a queen, or I could, as I said, get a checkmate with a king and a queen if it managed to become a queen, but as it didn't, because I took it, it was a draw. But is that something to be proud of? Is a draw something to be proud of? And if someone says to you, I cannot lose, you will immediately think that means they're going to win. But in my case, I didn't lose, but it was a draw. And to me, a draw is not really the same as a win. It's not something to be that proud of. Yes, it was a way of getting out of the situation, but really most people want to celebrate a win. So be careful. When someone says, I can't lose, it doesn't always mean they're going to actually win. It might mean that they know they're guaranteed at least a draw. So anyway, guys, a game where near the end, in this position, I couldn't lose, but it ended up being a draw, which isn't really the same as a win. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Bye!